opposition to the applications. Today, we'll hear any oral submissions relating to the applications. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant was required to post a sign on the property in question before the hearing. They also had to confirm in writing that they did so, or they'll need to swear or affirm an oath today that they've fulfilled the sign posting requirements. Otherwise, we may have to adjourn or postpone the hearing, and I'm advised that everybody has posted a sign. The panel may ask for a brief presentation of an application, followed by questions for the applicant and city planning staff. We will then hear from members of the public who have registered to speak, and we may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant, who is the burden of proof, will have an opportunity to make final comments in reply. Please address your comments to me as the chair, starting with your name, spelling, if necessary, and your municipal address for the record. All presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Any acceptance will be at my discretion. At the end of the hearing, the panel may either make an oral decision or we may reserve our decision, which means it won't be delivered today. In either case, and within 10 days, the Committee of Adjustment will send the official written decision with reasons for it to all the parties, participants, and anyone else who has requested a copy. Does anyone have any questions? Are there any declarations of interest by panel members? No?
No.
There are no minutes to confirm, I understand, from previous meetings. Are there any adjournment matters? No, there are no adjournment matters. Okay. For efficiency, I would like to bundle 5 matters together, and I'll just tell you which 5, because as I understand it, they're unopposed. The 5 are 7 and 11 Bradley, 74 Strawn, 3880 Willhaven, 5398 Mansell, 4505 Caballero. Are there any comments? Anybody want to make any comments or questions to any of those items? Okay, they're unopposed. Committee, we grant those 5 items. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to item number 1, that's 6410 Deer Valley. I understand that we have a letter from a resident who doesn't object to it, but there's some concern about the flooding on the possible flooding on the property. Is there somebody here who could speak to that briefly?
I can, Chair.
Okay.
My name is Chris Yalkotsi. I'm the agent for the applicant. The ditch is not being altered at all. The extent of the building as it approaches the ditch, which was put in place for the purposes of reducing or directing the water more succinctly to the ditches, the storm water, will remain as is. There is a naturalized landscaping intended between the building and the ditch, and that's all that will change. The topography will remain identical to it as it is now.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments, members of the panel? Any comments from anybody else present or online? Can we vote on this, members of the panel? Approved? Granted?
Granted.
It's granted. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and panel.
The next sort of 2 items, I guess, are 3973 York's Corners and 4036 B York's Corners. I understand that with regard to 3973 York's Corners, there's no concerns from planning. I don't think anybody else is opposed to that, but can we deal with 4035 B York's Corners? Yes. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, we're just waiting for the agent on this file. He does not appear to be online.
Is he online yet? Well, why don't we move to 3047 Moody while we're waiting, and we can come back to this one. Anyone here from 3047 Moody? Okay, I gather that, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you, sir. This was adjourned. Yeah. Could we have your name, please?
Yeah, my name's Steve Pence. I'm the agent for the property owner, and I'm here on behalf of them to represent the application.
Perfect. Do you want to make any comments?
Yes, this application was before the committee last month, and there was an adjournment request, and we accepted that adjournment. And that adjournment was with respect to some additional information that the Ottawa Septic System had requested. So subsequent to that adjournment, we retained the services of an Ontario land surveyor and a qualified professional to look at the location of the septic system on the property. Since then, we've prepared a plan to very carefully show where that septic system is located to address the concern from the Ottawa Septic System Office. And in doing so, we prepared a more detailed reference plan, or a reference plan, to show the property dimensions. In doing so, the lot area is slightly smaller than was originally proposed on the application, and the lot frontage is also a little bit smaller. Those should not be of any concern because the lot still complies with zoning. The purpose of the application is to create a surplus, to sever a lot deemed with a dwelling that's deemed surplus to a farming operation. And the intent always there is to try to minimize the amount of land being severed. And so the refined lot area, which is about 0.7 hectares now versus 0.8, reflects the limits between the lawn of the dwelling and the fields that are to be retained as part of the agricultural operation. And similarly, the frontage at the road is now gone from 15 meters down to 12. And again, that's merely to reflect an effort to try and minimize the amount of lot being severed from the agricultural holding. And so I believe now we have addressed the concerns from the Ottawa Septic System Office, and we've sort of provided a plan to the committee to demonstrate how that's been addressed. So I'm happy to take any questions from the committee.
Does planning have any comments on this?
Thank you, Chair. Planning has no concerns with this one. I will note that the lot width would not be zoning compliant as is, so we've just included in the rezoning condition that they would have to rezone the severed lot to reflect this as well. That's all.
Mr. Vervoort.
Just a question for planning. So just to be clear, then that rezoning that's required for the reduced lot width can be done at the same time that the balance of the lands are rezoned.
Don't think your mic's on.
Sorry, my apologies. So just to clarify, the rezoning or the rezoning required for the reduced lot width can be done at the same time as the zoning for the remainder of the lands in the normal course.
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then I think, Mr. Chair, we just have to read the amendments.
Yes,
to
that's
the
right. I
record.
was coming to that. I want to know if there are any other questions or comments from panel members. Okay, it has been amended, and I would like to read out those amendments if I might. The severed land shown on a sketch filed with the application will have a frontage of 12 meters, a depth of 241 meters, and an area of 0.72 hectares. This parcel contains the existing dwelling and is known municipally as 3047 Moody Drive. The retained land shown on said sketch has a frontage of 196 meters and a regular depth of 617 meters and a lot area of 11.9 hectares. This parcel contains vacant farmland and will be known municipally as 3029 Moody Drive. Is that what you understand, sir? Is that an amendment that you're agreeable to?
That we agree to that amendment. We had provided those details subsequent to having the draft reference plan prepared. So we're good with that.
Any other comments or questions from anybody else? Yes, Mr. Vervoort.
Just with respect to the retained land, if we're increasing the lot frontage, wouldn't the lot area also increase?
You're correct. It's a large retained lot, and the small amount of land area that is being sort of the difference in the reduction of the lot from 0.8 to 0.72 is such a small amount that we didn't reflect it in the hectareage expressed in the revised application. But for all intent and purposes, the retained land is essentially the same.
Thank you.
Okay, panel members, any other comments, questions? No. Can we vote? In favor? All in favor, granted? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, can we go back to the York's Corners properties, please?
Mr. Chair, apparently the agent is unavailable and they're not sure when he will be available, so perhaps these items could be adjourned sine die and they will be reactivated when the agent can bring them before committee.
If, how about to the next meeting? If it's adjourned sine die, please advise, do they have to repay fees
They
and
would
all
have
that?
to pay fees, and the request from the agent's office was that they don't know what his schedule is and when he will be available next, so sine die would be appropriate.
Well, what if we put it over for a month? And is that enough time, do you think, by the agent? But I mean, you don't know.
I don't know, Mr. Chair,
No.
and they are aware that sine die would have come at a cost.
Panel members, what thought, Mr. Verboer, do you have a thought about this?
Well, it seems to me that the applicant's aware of the situation and and we don't have any indication of when they can be heard again. So it seems to me that adjourning at sine die is
Sure.
probably appropriate in this case.
Other panel members, thoughts?
My thoughts are that an extension to the next meeting probably would be adequate because I think the owners would be willing to come and speak to this if they knew the agent wasn't going to do it. So I'd prefer that route to save them the extra fees. I'll go with what the
Anderson, do you have
majority
any
says.
thoughts on that? please?
I do agree, that we shouldn't forecast that they would not be able to come back within a month and not pay additional fees. So if that is appropriate, leave that to you. Defer
Sorry,
for
are you
1
saying,
month.
oh, 1 month? Are you saying 1 month, Mr. Otto, or 2
The
weeks?
next meeting or.
1 month would be all right? Okay. Any other comments, Mr. Verboer?
I'd like to defer to the majority.
Okay, I would be in favor of having it adjourned for 1 month. Then, that's the will, okay? Approved? Adjourned?
Mr. Chair, sorry, just for the record, that would be the hearing on June 6th.
June 6th, thank you very much. That's the 1 month period.
No, it's not. June
No, that's
6th.
that's more than,
June 4th, sorry.
okay.
June 4th is 1 month.
So the hearing will be on June the 4th. I think that concludes our items, is that correct? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
so are we adjourned then, members? Thank you very much. What?
Winters, is that winters?